American flag waving, drink shaking, face painting, hair raising, celebrating, trash talking, no mistake. Sad loving, spiritual, ritual kind of passion. It's a big skin weekend. I'm a man of big band, big time, big place, prime time, game day, all day Dixie way, Saturday in the South.
SEC College Football Saturday is presented by Coors Light. Game day in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Led by head coach Nick Saban, the Walk of Champions. As the number 2 ranked team in the country, the Alabama Crimson Tide gets set to take on North Texas. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our coverage from Alabama. Bob Rathman, Tim Couch. It's great to have you with us tonight. As you know, the strength of this Alabama team is in its defense. Tim, they are aggressive, they are hard-hitting, and they are talent-rich.
Oh, they sure are, Bob. And in my opinion, this is the best defense in all of college football. They returned 10 starters from a defense that finished 5th nationally a year ago. They are disruptive. They bat balls at the line of scrimmage. They hit your quarterback, and their secondary uses some very confusing looks to make quarterbacks throw the ball into double coverage. They get a lot of interceptions.
Their linebackers outstanding.
They are outstanding. C.J. Mosley and Dante Hightower allow this Alabama defense to use a lot of multiple schemes because of their versatility and athleticism.
Offensively, despite the fact that A.J. McCarron went the distance in the victory at Penn State last weekend, head coach Nick Saban plans to split time amongst his quarterbacks here this evening. That means Phillip Sims will get some playing time.
Yeah, and A.J. McCarron has done a nice job in his first 2 starts so far. He played really well in his first big test on the road at Penn State a week ago. They know what they have in A.J. McCarron. Now, tonight, they want to see what Phillip Sims can bring to the table as well before they start SEC play next week against Arkansas.
And that'll be right here at Tuscaloosa. When we come back, we will have the opening kickoff from Alabama. It's the Crimson Tide against the Mean Green, number 2 Alabama, and North Texas coming up next on SEC College Football Saturday.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our SEC College Football Saturday studios here in Atlanta. I'm Andre Aldridge, and I'll be around all this evening to keep you up to date with everything going on around the conference. Matter of fact, let's get you to some highlights as we check in on 11th-ranked South Carolina hosting Navy. Gamecocks down 7. Marcus Lattimore goes in for his second TD, ties things up at 14 apiece. Gamecocks in a tough one so far early on. Hey, our Wendy's texted in question, who's the best running back in Crimson Tide history? Sean Alexander, Kenneth Garvey, Mark Ingram, Bobby Humphrey, Johnny Musso? Well, just go to South 76884 and we'll update you throughout the game. Now let's get you back to Bob Rathman and Tim Couch in Tuscaloosa.
Thank you, Andre, and a good evening to you. Bryant-Denny Stadium in Tuscaloosa. Over 101,000 on hand to watch the Tide. And just moments ago, head coach Nick Saban leads the Crimson Tide out onto the field. Alabama's SEC opener is next week, but the focus clearly is on North Texas as we find out more from Christina Ackra down on the field.
Bob, head coach Nick Saban's message to his team this week is no different than any other message this season. It is all about the process and the preparation, not the opponent. This coaching staff has done a great job of telling these guys, you have to go out to practice, create good habits, make good decisions. Do not look ahead to the final results. Those results will come to you if you do things the right way. I talked to offensive coordinator Jim McElwain. He told me, yes, this kind of gets lost sometimes, this whole concept, and players do get wrapped up. But for Alabama, it's all about they're going and competing against themselves every time they're on their field to improve.
Okay, Christina, thank you very much. Just a wonderful night for football. 82 degrees, winds out of the northeast at 9, and just a few clouds up above the 101,000 1,000 assembled here at Bryant-Denny Stadium tonight. North Texas comes in, and a familiar face in the coaching circles, Dan McCarney, takes over as the head coach. His first season at the helm at North Texas, longtime Iowa State head man, last few years down at Florida, coaching the defensive line. A great coach, comes from a terrific background, and seems to be the right man for the job to get this North Texas program on its feet and established in the Sun Belt.
Oh, there's no question Dan McCarney's the right man for the job. This is a similar situation for him. As you mentioned, Bob, he was at Iowa State, took over that program when it was down, and he turned it into he took them to 5 bowl games. So Dan McCarney looking to do the same things here at North Texas.
North Texas has won the toss, and they elected to defer. So North Texas will be kicking off, and Alabama is set to receive. The Crimson Tide 2-0, their second home game. They blew Kent State out here 2 weeks ago. Then a very impressive road win in front of a big crowd up at Happy Valley.
Yeah, great road win. Anytime you can go to Happy Valley and come out of there with a victory, you're pretty happy.
Head coach Nick Saban's ball club, as we mentioned, is ranked number 2 nationally, and part of a defensive unit. Well, you look at this SEC West, and you have marveled at the Alabama D. LSU is standing over there in Baton Rouge watching tonight, saying, hey, what about us?
There's some outstanding defenses in the SEC, and especially, as you mentioned, Bob, in the West. So going to be a lot of fun to watch this season play out and how it progresses, and these defenses in the West just keep attacking each other.
Zach Olin is the kickoff man for North Texas. And Alabama will send 2 men deep. Number 3 at the top is Trent Richardson. Marquise Mays is standing at his own 6. So the Mean Green from Denton, Texas, about 30 miles north of Dallas, invading SEC territory. Second time they've been here in the last 3 years. They lost here in 2009. And we are ready for football on this Saturday night. Mays from the 3. He gets over the 20 to the 23-yard line, a return of 20 yards. So the Crimson Tide come out, and their quarterback is A.J. McCarron, the sophomore.
A.J. McCarron, the guy they're really high on. He's done a nice job in his first 2 starts so far this season, but this Alabama offense is going to rely heavily on that big offensive line and the powerful running game they have with Richardson and Lacey. But A.J. McCarron can throw the football. He has a big arm and can stretch the defense down the field.
They shift into the slot with Smeller. And A.J. wants to throw that way. First down and then some for Brad Smelly, the tight end.
Nice job by the Alabama offense coming out, throwing the football on first down. North Texas expecting run right there, and just slide the tight end Smelly out into the flats. Easy throw and catch to start this football game.
A 19-yard pickup. McCarron, last week at Penn State, outstanding 19 of 31 for 163 yards. Mays keeps his feet and gets over the 45 to about the 48-yard line. As we check out the Toyota key performers defensively for North Texas, linebackers Will Wright and Zach Orr anchored the defense, and the cornerback Royce Hill is their best DB.
Royce Hill's a guy who's going to get a lot of looks tonight. He's going to be matched up on Marquise Mays and some of these other Alabama wide receivers, so he's going to have his hands full with this Crimson Tide offense.
Quick swing to Mays. And a good effort takes it inside the 40 down to about the 36-yard line. A 12-yard pickup and another Alabama first down.
Alabama doing the right thing. Their young quarterback coming out in this game and just throwing easy passes to get his confidence going, get this offense's confidence going. Just a great start by Alabama and their offensive coordinator, Jim McElwain.
And another receiver at McCarron's disposal tonight, Darius Hanks, number 15.
They're certainly happy to get Darius Hanks back in the lineup. He's an outstanding wide receiver and brings some big play capability back to this offense.
Richardson through a gaping hole over the 30 to about the 28. Darius Hanks, the senior, such a vital part of the Alabama offense, the go-to guy on third down. Had to sit out the first 2 games for a violation of NCAA participation rules, but back in there tonight. Alabama thrilled to have him back for his senior season. McCarron now goes under center. The give to Richardson, and a good tackle from behind by Stokovich. Michael Stokovich, a freshman outside linebacker.
Excellent play by Michael Stokovich right there. Freshman, as you mentioned, Bob, just scraping over the top of that play. He reads the counter play, and he's able to catch Richardson in the backfield. Good job of recognition right there by Stokovich and busting that play in the backfield.
A loss of 2. Sets up 3rd down and 5. Smelly to the 24. Coming in, Brad Smelly with 3 catches, averaging just under 9 yards per reception. Picks up 6 on this one. Brad, a senior from here in Tuscaloosa. Opening drive for Alabama. 1st and 10. To Jones. Wrapped up and taken out of bounds. Another young player, freshman from Adamsville, Alabama.
Christian Jones is a guy the coaching staff here at Alabama is really high on. They've tried him at several different positions since he's been on campus. He's played a little running back, a little Z receiver, and he finally settles in here at the slot wide receiver, and they're expecting big things from Christian Jones in his career at Alabama.
1st and 10 from the 14. Richardson. And look at the strength of Richardson. 2 mean green defenders jump on top of the pile, and he was still able to move all that tonnage.
Well, that's what Trent Richardson does. He's a powerful guy. He's very low to the ground, great center of gravity, and his leg drive is tremendous. As you see, there's 4 or 5 guys on top of Richardson's shoulders. He's continued to move the pile forward. Just outstanding effort from Trent Richardson.
Listed at 5'11", 224, and built like granite. 9th play of the drive coming. Richardson. The hole that he saw closed quickly. And back to the line of scrimmage. Will Wright, number 11 there, came over, the outside linebacker, sophomore from Garland, Texas. And that sets up a 3rd down. 3rd and 5 for McCarron in the tie. End zone, too tall for Mays. Incomplete.
It was a right read on the play from A.J. McCarron right there. North Texas brings the blitz right up the middle. It's one-on-one coverage on the outside. He had Marquise Mays wide open, just overthrew him.
So the drive stalls, and a field goal attempt by Jeremy Shelley, the junior from Raleigh, North Carolina, comes in to make the short ones. He's 4 for 4 with his longest of 36 this season. This is a 26-yard attempt. Punches it through perfectly. And Alabama is on the board. 3-0. Game day in Tuscaloosa. Great to have you with us as Haas Salvacavos with tonight's kickoff from Tuscaloosa, 3-0 Alabama. Alabama leads at 3-0 over North Texas, 9:54 in the opening frame. Alabama took the opening kickoff and put together a nice drive, accumulated 4 first downs. Had to settle, though, for a field goal from Shelley of 26 yards. This is Cade Foster getting ready to kick it away for Alabama. 11 plays, 69 yards, and 5 minutes and 6 seconds off the clock. Breland Chancellor is an outstanding kick return. He's the deep man for North Texas. By the up man, Bird, over the 20 to the 25. North Texas brings out its redshirt sophomore starting quarterback, Derek Thompson.
Derek Thompson's a young quarterback, only making his 3rd career start. They're a running football team. Lance Dunbar is an outstanding running back for this Mean Green offense. They're going to try to get the running game established early and take a little bit of pressure off their young quarterback, Derek Thompson.
North Texas starts its first drive from the 25. Chancellor on the end around, is pushed out of bounds at the 32-yard line. Mark Barron got over there to make the play.
And North Texas is going to try to get Breland Chancellor the football as many ways as they can and as many different ways as they can. They want to use him on the screen game. You see him here on the reverse. Bob mentioned his return kick return skills. He's leading the nation in all-purpose yards per game. Very exciting football player.
Second and 3. The give is to Lance Dunbar. We mentioned earlier about the strength of this Alabama team being its defense, and our Toyota key defenders. Keep an eye on Daquan Menzie, great corner, and I think the best pair of safeties in college football, and Robert Lester and Mark Barron.
Yeah, hard to beat those two guys. Those guys are going to play at the next level and be superstars. Mark Barron especially is one of the best safeties you'll see in all of college football.
Dunbar picked up the first down. Looks to get to the outside. Hard to do with the great pursuit from Alabama.
You're going to have a hard time running the football east and west against the great pursuit and speed of this Alabama defense. You're going to have to get inside and stay inside. Trust your blocking. He doesn't see anything in there, but you got to just stick it in there and get what you can get. Good job right there by Dante Hightower of blowing that play up and making it bounce it outside, but you can't go out there and lose yardage. Just if you get back to the line of scrimmage, if that's all you can get, then take it.
Nico Johnson credited with the tackle for loss as the Mean Green lose 2 to set up 2nd and 12. James Hamilton is in the ball game. As a setback, the throw is complete out to the 37-yard line to Willie Taylor, the junior from Dallas. Alabama's defensive numbers this season rank like this. Number 1 in the SEC in pass defense and total defense. 2nd in the league in rushing D. And it really speaks to the strength of the conference, because we've got 4 teams in this league in the top 16 in the country in total defense. 3rd and long. Situations you'd rather not face if you're Derek Thompson.
Yeah, this is where this Alabama defense is at its best. You see Derek Thompson confused right there. Alabama showed him a look that he didn't like and had to call the timeout.
So Dan McCartney will gather his offensive troops and talk it over. 7:13 to go in the first, and 3-0 Alabama.
Andre Aldridge with your Coors Light game break. 17th ranked Florida leading Tennessee 23-7. Chris Rainey adds value to that and they love it in Gainesville. 233 total yards for Rainey as they win big in this one, 33-23. Now back to Tuscaloosa, Bob, Tim, and Christina.
Thank you, Andre. The Gators go to 3-0 and win their first SEC game under head coach Will Muschamp. Third down and long for the Mean Green of North Texas. Incomplete. Milner defending on the corner, and a punt coming up for North Texas.
Derek Thompson lucky that football wasn't picked off. D. Milner playing his zone coverage, just looking back in the backfield at Derek Thompson, saw that thing coming the whole way.
Outstanding punter Will Atterbury averages just under 47 yards of punt. And great return man in Marquise Mays. Ready for Alabama. 10 on the line for the Tide. Now they back a couple of guys off. Out of bounds after a return out over the 40 to the 42. What speed! My goodness.
Speed to Burr and Marquise Mays right there, just doing a good job of finding his wall. The play's all the way over to the opposite sideline. He has to get over there, but great blocking down the field. Number 3, Vinny Sunseri, throwing an excellent block. Great blocks all over the field. Vinny Sunseri just getting a blow-up shot right there. Marquise Mays able to get down the sideline for a great return.
He had a great block last week at Penn State. His dad is an assistant coach here. Sal coaches the linebackers. His brother's the starting quarterback at Pitt. This throw is complete out to the 49-yard line, and Brandon Gibson. So A.J. McCarron with his second series. Be second down and 3 from the Alabama 49. Richardson turned something out of nothing and a penalty flag. Ken Williamson is our referee tonight. Christina had mentioned before the game about Coach Saban's focus, and penalties, I'm sure, a part of that focus. You want to brush it all up before SEC play begins. Well,
there's no question about that. Coach Saban is a perfectionist. He demands that his team play at a certain level, and that's not going to make him happy right there going into SEC play next week.
Karen delivers. Hanks on the outside. And up to the 47-yard line of North Texas. So welcome back, Darius Hanks.
Welcome back for sure. A.J. McCarron is certainly happy to have Darius Hanks back in the lineup right there. Just found him isolated in the slot, one-on-one coverage, and it's an easy pitch and catch for McCarron and Hanks.
14-yard pickup. McCarron now, razor sharp, 6 of 7.
Job of McCarron of handling his football team at the line of scrimmage. You see him audibly. He's got a blitz coming to his left.
Plenty of time. Down the sideline. Incomplete. Intended for Mays.
And that's what the coaching staff love about A.J. McCarron. His knowledge, his poise, his ability to pick things up. Blitzes. That time, blitz. The will free safety blitz. A.J. McCarron slides his offensive line to the left to get him protected. Then he gets one-on-one coverage out there with his best wide receiver, Marquise Mays, and throws a beautiful ball. Mays normally comes down with that football.
holding his left wrist as he comes off. 2nd and 10. Richardson. Good lateral pursuit by North Texans.
And an excellent job of blocking by that big Alabama offensive line. Richardson wasn't even touched till about 7 yards down the field. Good job by Barrett Jones and Leos and Warmack on that front line.
It is a great challenge for North Texas tonight. Dan McCarney was telling us during the week he inherited what he felt was the smallest team in Division I football.
Oh, there's no question. They are so overmanned on that defensive line. They're very undersized, especially against a big bruising offensive line like Alabama has.
Steps in and complete to the 35-yard line. So Mays right back in, makes the grab. Stephen Ford defending.
The only way when you're North Texas and you're undersized like that on your defensive line, really the only way you can compete with a team like Alabama in the run game is to use run blitzes, bring a safety down in the box for an extra defender, use some games, some twists up there with the defensive ends and tackles, and you know that's going to leave one-on-one coverage on the outside, as we see Marquise Mays has been able to catch a couple footballs already in this game.
Right now, Flo! Right now!
They fake it to Mays. McCarron complete and out of bounds. Christian Jones. 1st and goal, Alabama, a 30-yard pickup.
Well, once again, it all starts up front for Alabama. This is a long developing play. See how much time McCarron has to get rid of this football, and it's just an easy pitch and catch. He's wide open. No one covers Christian Jones on the crossing route.
Down to the 4-yard line, 1st and goal. Out of the two tights, Richardson walks in, touchdown. Jeremy Shelley in to kick the PAT. And with that, Alabama takes a 10-0 lead. The 6th rushing touchdown this season for Trent Richardson. 10-0 Bama. SEC College Football Saturday is brought to you by Ford, by Regions Bank, by Academy Sports and Outdoors, and by Coors Light. Hey, welcome back to Bryant-Denny Stadium in Tuscaloosa. 10-0 Alabama. Bob Rathman, Tim Couch, Christina Acra with you as Nick Saban's second-ranked Tide have had the ball twice and they've scored twice. Cade Foster getting set now to kick it away for Alabama. And Chancellor standing just in front of his own goal line. This will be taken by Bird. From the 10-yard line. And he moves it out over the 25. Tonight's keys to the game brought to you by Ford.
Well, for Alabama, it's just going to be clearing up the quarterback situation and developing depth. You know, they want to get some of their young players in this football game and get an opportunity to play, and as they move forward into their SEC schedule.
So Dan McCarney, for a 17-yard kickoff return, sees his offense set up shop. 1st and 10 from the North Texas 27. The Mean Green come to Tuscaloosa 0-2. Pressure. Complete to Chancellor, but no gain whatsoever is coming up out of from the linebacking spot was Dante Hightower to make the tackle after Jesse Williams had the quarterback swallowed up.
Great pressure by Jesse Williams. He was on Derek Thompson before he had an opportunity to do anything. So excellent job of Derek Thompson of just getting rid of this football, much less completing it to Braylon Chancellor.
It is a loss of 1. Dante Hightower, second on the team with those 11 tackles. Thompson, a redshirt sophomore from Glen Rose, Texas. As Tim mentioned, only 1 start in his career coming into this season. A lot of pressure playing the second-ranked team in the country on the road with these fire breathers coming at him. Off the fingertips of Dunbar.
Yeah, very tough, as you mentioned, Bob, going against a team like Alabama who shows so many multiple looks on the defensive side of the ball. For a young quarterback, it's very hard to figure out where these blitzes are coming from. A lot of zone pressures, a lot of guys coming, a lot of guys dropping out. So a very tough job ahead tonight for Derek Thompson.
The architect of the defense, Kirby Smart. Third and 11. Complete to Dunbar, but such great recovery after the 3-man rush. Hightower, another tackle.
Yeah, that time Alabama chose to play coverage on 3rd and long as a big blitz down for Alabama. That time they only rushed 3 people, dropped 8 back in coverage, and forced Derek Thompson to throw that football underneath.
3 and out brings Will Atterbury back out onto the field after a loss of a gain rather of just 3 yards on the play. Marquise Mays is the punt returner. Beautiful punt. Mays gathers it at the 25 and is hit and driven back at the 23. 47-yard punt as we go down to the field. And Christina.
Well, Bob, you guys have talked about how strong this Alabama defense is, and they definitely pride themselves on being in the top 10 in most categories. One area where they came in close to last in 2010 was in forcing fumbles. They were 118 out of 120. Dante Hightower told me it's actually embarrassing to be so close to last place. So defensive coordinator Kirby Smart is making an effort to improve this by playing a video before every practice with a header that says 118 out of 120, and then he plays some video to illustrate what it's like to go in there and strip the ball out of guys' hands to try and make them better at this particular category.
Yeah, Kirby Smart just trying to find different ways, Christine, to get turnovers. They get a lot of interceptions with their multiple looks and confusing quarterbacks, but he wants turnovers, guys getting in there and stripping the football away.
A first down for Brad Smelly on the far side. Jackson defending, and McCarron has been outstanding.
Well, the coaching staff has to be just so thrilled at the way A.J. McCarron has come out in this football game early on. 9 out of 11 already. He missed the touchdown on the first drive. He had Marquise Mays open. I'm sure he'll be regretting that in the film room tomorrow, but so far so good for A.J. McCarron.
Eddie Lacy is the running back behind A.J. Lacy with the carry. Another one of these great Alabama backs, and Eddie's a redshirt sophomore playing behind Richardson. But he'll get his fair share of carries as the season unfolds. Oh,
no question about it. Eddie Lacy he's more than a complimentary back, Bob. This guy right here could be a #1 at most places. He could be the main feature back. But, I think this is the best duo of running backs in all of college football with Richardson and Lacy. Both of them are very explosive, very powerful, and have the capability of taking the distance every time they touch it.
Second down. Lacy edging toward the 45-yard line. Lacy is 6 feet tall, 220 pounds, and has that combination Tim, that you love power and speed.
Yeah, that's what you look for in your running back. You know, he can make you miss or he can truck you. You know, very similar to what Trent Richardson is able to do. These guys, there's just no break for the defense. When Trent Richardson comes out of the football game, Eddie Lacy picks up right where Trent left off.
Brandon Lewis comes in to lead the blocking. And over the 45 to about the 47-yard line. They've moved Brandon Lewis, number 95, over from defensive end to tight end spot to lead some of those blocks. As we come to the end of the first quarter in Tuscaloosa, SEC College Football Saturday underway, 10-0 Bama. Our Hyundai game summary with Alabama leading North Texas 10-0. A.J. McCarron, a 9 of 11 night to date in the air for 122 first half yards. 21 plays to 8 for the Mean Green. We begin the second quarter. Alabama 1st and 10. A nice toss to the tight end Michael Williams.
A.J. McCarron A.J. McCarron in a really nice rhythm right now with his footwork. He's hitting that back step out, and the ball is coming out on time with accuracy. And that's what you want to see out of your young quarterback.
When you mention footwork, Tim, what should our fans be looking for?
Well, it's all timing. You know, when your quarterback is dropping back, when that back foot hit, when the back foot hits, if the football is coming out, he's seeing the defense clearly. He's seeing where he wants to go with the football, and he's anticipating his throws. If you see him holding on to that football and footwork gets a little bit out of whack, and that's where you can get inaccurate with the throws at times.
Just his second start last week at Penn State, and a victory at Beaver Stadium. Lacy. One man to beat. Touchdown. We mentioned that lethal combination of power and speed.
Well, there was the speed part of it, Bob, and great job by Eddie Lacy of redirecting, great vision to cut up underneath that block, and once he gets out in the open field, you can forget about it. He's got as much speed as anyone on the football field.
Jeremy Shelley with the PAT. 14-14 left in the second quarter at Bryant-Denny. 17-0 Alabama. 17-0 Alabama as we go down to the field, and Christina.
Well, Bob, everyone knows after the devastating tornado that came through Tuscaloosa back in April, there's still efforts to create relief for the victims here in Tuscaloosa. One in particular, a Facebook page called Forget Us Not Tuscaloosa. And the goal of this page, created by Tuscaloosa News reporter Chase Goodbread, is a long-term goal to get someone to volunteer for every day for 365 days after the storm hit for a solid year. So far, there's 182 days left to be claimed. The mayor of Alabama has gotten claimed a day. Former Alabama players have claimed a day. You could also purchase this Forget Us Not Tuscaloosa for $5, a calendar that goes towards relief efforts. Guys, the pictures in this are absolutely heartbreaking. Everybody needs to still get involved to this day.
Thank you, Christina. We'll talk more about that as the evening unfolds. Chancellor bounces off that hit. Cannot get away and is taken down at the 11-yard line. Officially credited for 7 yards.
Pretty exciting 7-yarder, huh? Yeah, I'll tell you what, gutsy kid, Breland Chancellor, he's going to bring that thing out, and he's going to run 100 miles an hour up in there. They hit him pretty good, but he bounced off and was able to keep his feet. Didn't get a whole lot out of it, but he's a pretty exciting guy to watch.
The stat you referenced earlier, leading the nation in all-purpose yards.
Yeah, this kid is really, really exciting with the football in his hands. You saw Alabama in that first quarter trying to keep the football away from him on the first 2 kickoffs. That time he was able to get his hands on it, but Alabama will certainly want to limit his touches.
Dunbar goes to the outside and gets a couple of tough yards. Out over the 15, maybe to the 16-yard line before Damian Square made the tackle, the defensive end. It's our first visit to Tuscaloosa this season, and going down McFarland and seeing the path of destruction just in Tuscaloosa proper still takes your breath away.
It really does. It's so sad to see, people lost so much, and it's just we got a chance, like Bob said, to drive around and see a lot of the devastation. It does. It just takes your breath away how these people must feel just going through what they went through.
Dunbar wrapped up, no chance at all. Courtney Upshaw. He was there just about at the point of the handoff.
It's just an outstanding linebacker core that Alabama has. You got Upshaw, Hightower, you got Nico Johnson. All these guys can read and react. They can get to the football in a hurry, and they're all great tacklers.
So many communities in Alabama and the Southeast affected by that incredible tornado back on April 27th. And I know from all of us, the SEC family, we will not forget. And we will continue to create awareness as the season unfolds. Still a lot of help needed. Third down, incomplete. Going for the crossing route to Chancellor, and defending was Mincy.
Well, it was the right read and the right throw by Derek Thompson. Alabama had the blitz on right there, trying to put pressure, as they like to do on third and long situations. Breland Chancellor, their go-to guy in those type of one-on-one situations, wasn't able to haul that one in.
2 punts for 47 yards average by Will Atterbury this evening. Mays waits at his own 40. Angling away from Mays from the 33. And about a 10-yard return. Mike Marshall made the tackle. Timeout, Tuscaloosa.
Andre Aldridge with this game break. 11th ranked South Carolina hosting Navy. Chris Proctor finds Bo Snelson right there. That set up a Navy touchdown. Navy leading at the end of 3, 21-17. Gamecocks having to work. Our Wendy's texted in question, who's the best running back in Crimson Tide history? Just text South 76884. Now let's go back to Bryant-Denny Stadium. Bob Rathman and Tim Couch with a pretty mean tie.
Thank you, sir. 17-0 Alabama. And as you see, A.J. McCarron has donned the headphones, so he will give way to redshirt freshman Phillip Sims at quarterback. And Sims will go to the air. And the kneeling grab by DeAndrew White.
We're going to see a lot of Sims in this football game, and we're going to see him throw the football quite a bit. When you have two young quarterbacks like this, like Alabama does on this roster, with little to no experience, you have to get both of those guys as many reps as possible, especially early in these non-conference games, early in the season, because when it comes SEC play, it's so easy for a guy to get dinged up here or there, and your backup has to be ready to go.
Richardson works his way to the 50. That's a wonderful point you make, Tim, about the depth and how it is created and developed here at Alabama. Take a running back like Fowler, for example. The guy that hasn't had a ton of carries, 4, I think, coming into the game tonight. But he knows that if there is an injury, if maybe just a mild one in game to either Richardson or Lacey, he's in there. So you're always on edge, ready to make a contribution if called upon.
Oh, no question, and that's what it is. That's the game of football. You're always one play away, no matter if you're second or third string. You prepare and you practice like you're going to be the starter, because you very well could be in a short period of time.
Darius Hanks makes the grab. Sims gets the first down for Alabama. Into North Texas territory at the 44-yard line. Sims 6'2", 217. From the Hampton Roads area of Virginia, Chesapeake, Virginia. Played his high school football at Oscar Smith.
An outstanding high school career also. He rewrote a lot of the passing records in the state of Virginia. Was one of the top quarterback recruits in the entire country coming out of high school.
Nice touch. Out of bounds at the 25-yard line. And that is going to be Gibson with the grab for Alabama. A 20-yard pickup.
Well, it's impressive to see the young freshman and his poise and his ability, to relocate the defense after the play action fake and find his crossing route. Delivers a nice football in there to Brandon Gibson. So good job early on in this game from Phillip Sims.
In week 1 against Kent State, Phillip Sims went 7 for 14. No touchdowns, had 2 picked off, 73 yards. Play action. Chased. Big hit from behind at the 30-yard line by Zach Orr. Middle linebacker for North Texas.
Zach Orr is a heck of a football player. This time, North Texas decides to bring a little bit of a blitz. We hadn't seen many blitzes from North Texas early in this football game because they don't feel like their corners can match up one-on-one in man-to-man coverage with these Alabama receivers. That time, took a chance and was able to get to Phillip Sims.
Zach Orr, his daddy was a great player. Terry Orr of Redskin fame. In the middle to Richardson. And he picks up a yard. Again, Orr was right in the middle of things. Third down and 14 for the Tide. At the North Texas 29. They've had the ball 3 times in this first half, and they've scored on all 3, 2 touchdowns and a field goal.
Been very efficient so far in this football game offensively, able to do a lot with the run and a lot with the pass.
Alabama 4 for 5 on third down conversions in this game. To the 20-yard line, short of the first down, as Kenny Bell, the redshirt sophomore, hauls it in. Spreading the ball around tonight.
He is spreading the football around, and also good recognition. I'm impressed with these young quarterbacks. I think Jim McElwain is doing an outstanding job. You can tell that they're well coached. They're recognizing the blitzes and throwing the football to the right spot. That time, the football just a touch behind his wide receiver, Kenny Bell. If it gets out in front of him, Kenny's got an opportunity to maybe sprint for that first down.
37-yard attempt by Jeremy Shelley. Did one from 26 to start the scoring tonight. And good. 8:11 to go, first half. From Tuscaloosa, Bama 20, North Texas nothing. SEC College Football Saturday is brought to you by Toyota, by O'Charley's, by Coors Light, and by Hass Avocados. From inside the Bear Bryant Museum adjacent to Bryant-Denny Stadium. 20-0. Alabama leading with 8:11 to go in this second quarter. And Tim Couch, you used a very good descriptive term a moment ago. Very efficient for Alabama tonight. Even though they had to come away with a field goal that time, they have had no difficulty moving the football.
No, they haven't, and they've moved the football every time they've touched it, Bob. They've put points on the board, whether it be a field goal or a touchdown. They should have had a touchdown on the opening drive, as we mentioned, the overthrow on that one, and then on the pass drive, just took a sack down there and killed that drive.
They land chancing it. Pinned in and smothered at the 15. 13-yard kickoff return. Trey DePriest was quickly down the field for Alabama, number 33. He is outstanding on special teams.
Sure is. He's a special teams star. Makes a lot of tackles for him on that side of the ball.
North Texas wants to try to get something going offensively. 2 straight 3-and-outs. Dan McCarney knows the challenge in front of his offensive unit facing Alabama, but wants to see a little progression here. The last 2 drives have been very frustrating.
Identical numbers. The penalty is 5 yards and will be added to the end of the return. First down.
2 players for Alabama with identical numbers were on the kick coverage team.
Can't say I've ever seen that one called in a game.
That's a new one. But the eagle eye of Kenny Williamson and his crew spotted that infraction, and we learned something new tonight.
No, been around this game a long time, but you see something new every time you come out.
So it looks like the football will go up to the 19, I believe.
That penalty was on the receiving team, and the penalty will be declined.
Oh, okay.
First down.
So now they move the chains back. Well, we still learned something new.
There you go. Well, they got it straightened out now. It's time to play a little football. And getting back to North Texas's offense, Bob, you mentioned they've had some 3-and-outs, a couple consecutive 3-and-outs. They have to get the football move. They have to get the chains moving. They have to get Lance Dunbar, their outstanding running back, involved in the game. Lance Dunbar is a guy over his career. He has over 3,000 yards on the ground in his career. One of the most productive running backs in all of college football. Not able to get anything going on the ground tonight.
A Doak Walker candidate. Dunbar, a senior from Halton City, Texas. He was forced out of his New Orleans home by Hurricane Katrina. Halton City, just outside of Fort Worth, was in high school there for the past couple of years. Was there for 2 years before matriculating to North Texas. 20-0 Alabama. First and 10 now for the Mean Green. Chancellor in motion. And Dunbar goes down at the 12. How frustrating. Had a little bit of green grass in front of him.
I think he couldn't believe he actually saw some green grass. His first time that he's got the football all night where he actually had an opportunity to make a play. It's been kind of a slow start this year, though, for Lance Dunbar. He's coming off an off-season surgery, and he hasn't really gotten back into that mode that he had been in the previous few years. I mean, he's, like I said, his productivity's been off the charts. The last 2 seasons, only LaMichael James, the running back from Oregon, has more yards on the ground than Lance Dunbar.
Dunbar, nothing inside, and a loss to the 11. Coming up on the Toyota halftime report, Andre Aldridge manning the studio tonight. Scores and highlights from all the action on a very busy day and night in the SEC. Loss of 2 sets up 3rd down and 14. And you were mentioning Dunbar. Last year, he lit up Kansas State for 270 yards. So this kid's got talent. North Texas 0 for 3 on 3rd down. Low snap, play blown dead.
Delay of game, offense, number 7. 5-yard penalty. It remains 3rd down.
That's a learning opportunity for the young quarterback, Derek Thompson. When you're down, backed up in your own territory, and the crowd is really loud, and you're trying to communicate with your offensive football team, you have to get those guys on the same page and moving with a little bit more sense of urgency, because that clock is ticking down. You got to get the football snap. Can't put yourself in the hole any more than you already are.
North Texas with only 14 total yards of offense in this first half. And Alabama 3rd and 19. You know they are licking their chops on this one. The handoff to Dunbar, and he is pushed back to the 5. That time, Ed Stinson, 49, the sophomore defensive end, made the primary hit.
Just trying to get a little room for the punter right there. You're not going to convert many 3rd and longs, 3rd and 19, 3rd and 20 against this Alabama defense. So just trying to get a little breathing room, but Alabama's defense not having anything on the ground tonight.
Atterbury had a big punt the last time. Over 50 yards. His 5th 50-plus yard punt this season. But no margin for error, kicking from his own end zone. Mays squares up and takes it at the 45. Gets a block. And then pushed out of bounds by Andre Power. Time to look at tonight's Regions Bank SEC grades. And here is one of them, front and center. Heisman Trophy winner Mark Ingram.
No question, Mark Ingram, one of the best running backs that this conference has ever seen. He was so productive in his time here at Alabama, become the first Heisman Trophy winner in a long history of great players at this university. And now he's with the New Orleans Saints and that great football team, and Drew Brees couldn't have possibly landed in a better situation for his NFL career.
This time, nowhere to go for Trent Richardson. That may be one of the most startling facts in the proud tradition of Alabama football, that it took until Ingram 2 years ago for Alabama to have a Heisman Trophy winner.
Well, you just can't fathom it. You know, when Ingram first won that award and they said, you know, it's the first time an Alabama player's won it, I had to shake my head, you know, and think, you know, they had so many great running backs here, just Sean Alexander, so many great football players, you know, that came through the doors and played on this football field here at Alabama. It's just shocking to think that that would be the first one.
Second series for Phillip Sims. Good protection and nearly intercepted. That time John Shorter, the safety, had that ball right in his eyes.
Well, that's one of the rules for a quarterback that you'll learn as a young player. Never throw the football late across the middle. See, he stares down his wide receiver. Well, the backside safety, John Shorter's just reading his eyes. He's reading Phillip Sims' eyes, and he gets a huge jump on that football. Phillip Sims very lucky that Shorter didn't pick that one off.
On 3rd and 9. Sims throws it away. Good pursuit by Julian Herron, outside linebacker.
That time Jim McElwain trying to move the pocket, give him a different platform to throw the football from right there, but excellent coverage on the play by number 21 Royce Hill of taking away his primary option and making him throw the football away.
Cody Mandel is the Alabama punter. Bounce and downed at the 4. Once again, spectacular special teams coverage for Alabama as Daquan Menzie was down there to make the play. A punt of 33 yards, first punt of the day for Alabama. So North Texas, good news, they get it back. Bad news, they're backed up to their own 4-yard line.
Right back where they left it the last time. So they got to be careful down here. You know, you can't give the football away. You got to be efficient with your throws, and also the clock in your head as a quarterback has to speed up when you're down here. It has to come out of your hand really quick.
Thompson on the handoff. And Brandon Byrd is the ball carrier. First time we've seen Byrd in the backfield tonight. Johnson with the tackle. Talked about 3 and outs in Alabama 2 weeks ago here against Kent State. Forced 11 3 and outs and had 4 sacks. They are just a magnificent defensive team against all comers. Dunbar. And it's going to be marked at the 2. Hightower in hot pursuit.
Great pursuit right there. That time Alabama had a safety blitz on with Robert Lester, and Hightower, they forced the issue to come back, forced the run to come back, and Hightower playing his gap responsibility perfectly on that play.
A loss of 5. Those defenders want that safety. Byrd finds a way out to the 9. A gain of 7. Robert Lester credited with the tackle for Alabama. But it is another 3 and out. for the Mean Green. And a timeout has been taken by Alabama. 2 minutes and 48 seconds remaining in the first half at a 20-0 Alabama advantage. Well, Tim, you talked about at the top of our telecast, this Alabama defense is tremendous.
They are, Bob, and they're disruptive. You see, they're so fast. If you try to get east and west on them, it's never going to happen. The speed is too much. They're also going to get to your quarterback. We talked about how they will get pressure with their front four, and the strength of this football team is their linebackers. Look at the gap control that their linebackers play with. They never get off their assignment. They're always right where they should be. Dante Hightower, these guys and Courtney Upshaw, these guys can run and hit, and they all tackle so well.
Kirby Smart has put together quite a unit. Mays back deep for the Atterbury punt. Good man's got a leg.
Yes, he does.
Mays gets away from one man, but after a 43-yard punt, a couple of yards on the return. We'd like to welcome the military watching the game all around the Southeast and remind you that USAA salutes the members of our armed forces around the world. So Alabama has it with 2:36 to go in this opening half. A.J. McCarron will come in for Phillip Sims.
And it's a situation right here where they want A.J. to come back into the football game. It's a 2-minute drill, something that they're going to be in bigger games when they're playing these SEC opponents. You're going to have to be able to execute 2-minute drills before the end of the half, and at the end of games, they want A.J. McCarron to try and run this.
Faked a little dump off to Lacey and just took it himself up to midfield before McCoy came up to deliver the blow. Brandon, the defensive end, a sophomore from Carrollton, Texas.
Good job the last couple possessions by the North Texas secondary. They're coming up these Alabama wide receivers and nowhere to go with the football from these quarterbacks.
Off the hands of Mays. So now McCarron and company faced with a 3rd and 11.
And this is going to be frustrating for Jim McElwain and Nick Saban if they go 3 and out right here. They really wanted to get, see what A.J. McCarron can do in these type of situations. So obviously don't want to come out and go sack, incompletion. You want to see them move the football down the field and see if they can execute and communicate in these type of drills.
Hanks is in now at the top of your screen, number 15. Lacey gets positioned correctly. A.J. out of the gun, rolling. Backside pressure, picked up. Complete to Bell. And he's out of bounds at the 25. 25-yard gain.
Well, I guarantee you when Jim McElwain drew that play up to roll out to the left, he did not design A.J. McCarron to turn around and throw it back to his right. But excellent recognition, keeping your eyes down the field, finding Kenny Bell. Good job by Kenny Bell of working with his quarterback, seeing that he's coming back across the grain and readjusting his route to give A.J. McCarron a place to get rid of that football.
Fires it to Bell. And taken out of bounds at the 20-yard line as Stokovich came up and made another tackle. Gain of 5. Kenny Bell, the redshirt sophomore, made a grab of 14 yards last week against Penn State. His first catch of the year. The ball at the 20 on 2nd and 5. They'll mark him out of bounds at the 16.
So they've came with that screen pass out to the outside the last 2 plays, and both times Darius Hanks is through great blocks. Watch him right here as he takes out the defender. Bam! Now that's blocking for your fellow wide receiver. When they're watching that film tomorrow, I guarantee you Marquise Mays is going to give him a high five and appreciate that, because you see Hanks giving a little laugh right there. They don't get many opportunities to blow these defenders up. So nice job by Hanks of blocking.
Watching Hanks smile like that. Did you see that block, Coach?
Oh yeah, he said, I can hit some people. He'll be wanting to play DB here.
Nothing inside for Eddie Lacy. Clock down to $1:35, a loss of 2. Fourth down. And Shelley will come in to try a field goal for Coach Saban. 36-yard attempt. Shelley has hit a 37-yarder and a 26-yarder in tonight's game.
Once again, good red zone defense from this North Texas football team. That's 3 times now they've held Alabama to field goal tries.
Alabama.
Alabama stops it here with 59 seconds to go.
This is a 30-second timeout.
SEC College Football Saturday will continue from this great state. We'll be down at Auburn next Saturday night. War Eagle, Florida Atlantic taking on the Tigers. Check your local listings. We'll come your way at 7 Eastern Time, 6 Central. Florida Atlantic and Auburn. James Chiswick's crew suffering a defeat today at Clemson that ended their winning streak that carried them, of course, to a national championship a year ago and a 2-0 start this season. But a tough day in Death Valley for the Auburn Tigers today.
It really was. That's a tough place to go play a football game. You know, Gene Chiswick and those Auburn Tigers have been so fortunate in so many games that have come down to the wire, and they've had such big deficits that they've overcome and come back to victory. Today just couldn't do it. Taj Boyd, the quarterback at Clemson, had an outstanding day, threw 4 touchdown passes, over 350 yards, and just lit up that Tiger secondary.
Once again, a 36-yard field goal attempt. Jeremy Shelley looking to go 7 for 7 on the campaign. And this one no good. So Alabama had to burn a timeout to get organized, and when they get out there, the field goal is no good. So it remains a 20-0 game.
Yeah, Nick Saban certainly not happy with his offensive unit right there. The last couple possessions have been a little sloppy. They were in such good rhythm early on in this football game. Now they're getting penalties. They're dropping balls. They're giving up. They're not getting open. Their routes, the secondary for North Texas is starting to tighten up the coverage on these wide receivers at Alabama and stalling drives. Now they're missing field goals. So very frustrating, moving the football well from the 20 to 20. But once they get in the red zone, that's 3 times now they've had to settle for field goals, and that time a missed field goal.
Dunbar, first time tonight, he gets to the outside. And it took into the game's 29th minute for that to happen. A 5-yard pickup for Lance Dunbar.
This Alabama defense takes a lot of pride in not letting anyone get over 100 yards rushing on them. It's been a while since someone's done that, and that includes, Lance Dunbar. They know he came in this game with a lot of stats and a lot of hype, but they're not going to let him get loose.
That equals North Texas' biggest gain of the night, 5 yards. And Dunbar this time cannot escape Courtney Upshaw. Lance Dunbar, the senior, is the preseason Sun Belt Player of the Year. And you look at his career numbers, as you mentioned, Tim, over 3,200 rushing yards at North Texas. That will be the final play. Dan McCarney leads his club to the locker room. And Nick Saban and Alabama head to theirs with a halftime score of 20-0 in favor of the Crimson Tide. Let's go down to the field with Christina.
Coach, the goal for this game tonight was to have your players play as best as they possibly could. What have you seen in the first half?
Well, I think the players are playing hard. I just don't know if we're playing smart all the time. The last 2 times that we had the ball offensively, we've, just made a lot of errors and not done things correctly and stopped ourselves and created negative plays for ourselves, and we need to eliminate that in the second half. Everybody's got to challenge themselves to play better.
What adjustments will you be making here at halftime for the second half?
Well, I think what we need to do on offense is just settle down and do what we do. I mean, we've got to get the ball in the perimeter, throw the ball down the field, make some more explosive plays, and I think we'll come out and do that.
All right, thank you very much, Coach.
Head coach Nick Saban of the Alabama Crimson Tide. We've reached the break in Tuscaloosa. Second-ranked Alabama leads North Texas 20-0. Andre Aldridge will carry you through halftime. It's next on SEC College Football Saturday. Welcome you back to Bryant-Denny Stadium in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Number 2 Alabama leading North Texas 20-0 here at halftime. We welcome you back to the booth. Bob Rathman and Tim Couch with you. Not perfect for Alabama in that first half, but a dominating performance nonetheless.
It really was, and the offense moved the football efficiently. The quarterbacks were accurate with their throws, but it is Alabama football, and they're all about defense here. 1 first down, Bob, only 25 total yards for this North Texas offense, so Alabama defense doing what it does.
Let's check the rest of the Regions Bank first half stats, and these are the numbers that you were referring to.
Yeah, this Alabama defense is just absolutely shutting North Texas down. North Texas in the second half is going to have to take some shots down the football field, try to loosen up some of this run defense that Alabama has, and everybody up at the line of scrimmage, and try to get Lance Dunbar in that running game moving a little bit.
And North Texas will get the football to start this third quarter. Overall in that first half, North Texas had 19 total offensive plays for 25 yards. And they will get the football to start this second half as Cade Foster gets ready to boot it away for Alabama. Chancellor on the return. And knocked back after an 8-yard return. Let's go down to the field earlier. Christina with Coach Dan McCarney of North Texas.
Coach, you struggled a little bit offensively tonight. What's been the biggest challenge for you?
Well, we just have done nothing execution-wise with our offense, and we know this is one of the top defenses in college football, but we've got to find a way to move the chains. Our defense, as young as it is really starting to grow up, and it's fun to watch them play the game. We got to get our offense going, get some chains, get the chains moving, make some plays, get in the end zone, build some confidence on our offense.
What did you say at halftime to make some adjustments to get your team into the second half, get them going?
Listen, we know this is a tremendous football team, but there's a lot of our guys right now are playing the best they've played so far in this early part of the season. Grow up, be a man, everybody do their part, and let's go have some fun and see if we can get right back and have a chance to win this game.
Thank you very much, Coach.
Thanks a lot.
And speaking of having some fun, how about that toss to Lance Dunbar?
Well, that's exactly what they need to do offensively. Get the football out to Lance Dunbar in space. He's been so bottled up in this football game by this Alabama defense. That time, able to get him out on the perimeter. Nice throw, nice read by Derek Thompson right there. And maybe that'll get Lance Dunbar and this offense going.
A first down after a 20-yard pickup. Out to the North Texas 41-yard line. Over the middle and complete. And a nice grab takes it down to the Alabama 42-yard line. As that time, Michael Outlaw came up with the grab.
And a great block right there by Matt Tomlinson. Robert Lester came on the safety blitz. He was able to get just enough of him to give Derek Thompson the time he needed to find Michael Outlaw on the little over the middle route. Good throw and catch.
Tomlinson, 72 in all Sun Belt preseason selection. Outlaw, their leading receiver, coming into the game tonight with 8 catches. Dunbar on a cutback. Gets a good block from his quarterback and takes the ball down to the 40-yard line. Courtney Upshaw, the tackle. But North Texas has come out with a much more confident gait.
Absolutely. This offense, they're starting to get a little success. They're starting to see some balls completed and moving the chains a couple times here on this drive. And, you know, that time Lance Dunbar tried to reverse field like he did in the first half. Just not going to happen with the speed of this Alabama defense. But excellent job, excellent hustle by Derek Thompson, the quarterback, of trying to throw a block and spring his running back. That's what you want to see, everybody on the field giving maximum effort.
North Texas had 1 first down in the first half, 2 in this drive. Thompson lofting, tipped, incomplete. Into double coverage was Chancellor. Milner knocked it away. Lester, the strong safety.
Well, good job right there by D. Milner of just putting Breland Chancellor on the sideline. Really no place for Derek Thompson to throw that football. And you see Robert Lester coming over late. If he was able to haul that ball in, Lester would have probably jarred it loose with the big hit.
Milner came in 4 pass breakups, tied for the lead after 2 games for the Tide. 3rd down and long. Pressure. Complete. And out of bounds. Outlaw the grab. The first time tonight that North Texas has been able to convert a 3rd down.
This North Texas offense looks like a different football team on this drive. Excellent recognition. Once again, Derek Thompson, Alabama, bringing a double safety blitz. They brought both Mark Barron and Robert Lester off the edge right there, leaving Michael Outlaw one-on-one on the out pattern. Good timing on the throw and good accuracy.
Timeout, North Texas.
Timeout, North Texas. First timeout this half.
So with the timeout, we'll step aside. 12:40 to play, 3rd quarter, 20-0 Alabama. 20-0 Alabama, 12:40 to play, 3rd quarter. Let's go down to the field and Christina.
All right, SEC fans, be sure to tune into our weekly preview show, SEC Gridiron Live, every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. College Football Hall of Famer Randy Cross and SEC legends Kevin Carter and Tim Couch and myself will be breaking down all the games for the upcoming weekend. You guys can actually be a part of the show by going to our website, secgridironlive.com. We've got a live chat on Wednesday nights to get you guys on all the action. Also, Twitter and Facebook going. You guys give me your best stuff, and we might read it on the air.
Thank you, Christina. Of course, you carry that show on Wednesday night.
I couldn't agree more with that.
North Texas driving for the first time tonight. 1st and 10. On the reverse. Alabama. Oh, it's a toss back. The throw down the field. Incomplete. Boy, we had a flea flicker plus on that one.
There's a lot of stuff going on right there, but I'll tell you, it was a great job. Mark Barron, as you see out the bottom of the screen, coming on a safety blitz, recognizes that it's a reverse, but he pitches it. Breland Chancellor pitches it back to Derek Thompson. And if he was able to step into that throw, he had Chris Bynes down the field open in the end zone. He just couldn't get enough on the football. But I like the play call from North Texas. You know, you have nothing going offensively in the first half. You have 25 yards of total offense. This drive, they're coming. You can see the aggression. They're trying to take shots down the field, and you have nothing to lose. You know, let it all hang out and try to take some shots down at the end zone.
And now the Mean Green
North
have
Texas,
to burn a second timeout.
This is a 30-second timeout.
Head coach Dan McCarney is no stranger. This is one of the most well-respected coaches in the college game. You may remember him, 12 years. He was the head man at Iowa State and took the Clones to 5 different bowl games, learned under the legendary Hall of Fame coach at Hayden Fry. But Dan McCarney, head coach, assistant coach, he has been a part of 20 bowl teams in an illustrious 35-year stint as a head coach.
Well, there's no question he's had a heck of a career, and he's a very well-respected defensive mind, as you mentioned, Bob. And he's the right guy for this job. He's been very candid about where this program is when he took over. It's a team that's only won 13 games in the 13 games the last 6 years. So Dan McCarney has a lot of rebuilding attitudes to do in this program to get him to where he wants to go. These guys have to believe that they can do it before they can actually go out on the field and get it done.
And you got that feeling from Coach McCarney as he chatted with Christina coming back. That was exactly the message he gave his team in the locker room at halftime. Thompson, oops, a drop at the 25-yard line. Jay Mays Olawale was the intended receiver. Third and 10.
Got to be alert for pressure right here if you're Derek Thompson in this North Texas offense. This is a 3rd and 10 situation. Alabama's going to bring the blitz and try to knock you out of field goal range.
8th play of the drive. It is a completed pass to the 25-yard line as Taylor made the catch. And it will be 4th and 5 as Willie makes the grab. And now a field goal attempt coming for North Texas as Zach Olin, sophomore from Richardson, Texas, tries to connect on his 2nd field goal of the year. He had a 39-yarder earlier. This will be a 42-yard attempt for North Texas, bidding for their first points against Alabama. High snap. Blocked. The shutout's intact. It looked like 54 Jesse Williams got that hand up. We'll check for you. Here's Jesse coming out. Let's see.
A couple people in there. You see, I think it was actually it was 37 Robert Lester.
Yes.
Yeah, Lester breaking in right up the middle right there and able to get a hand on that. I think North Texas was expecting the blitz on that 3rd down play as well. They had a quick hitter called right there, but Alabama elected to sit back and play the zone and was able to tackle the wide receiver before he was able to convert for a first down.
McCarron at quarterback, Richardson the running back, and Trent over the 40 to the 41.
Well, finally, Trent Richardson gets something going. It's been kind of tough sledding for Trent Richardson running the football in this game. He's not getting a lot of yards per carry. That time, able to get into the secondary of this North Texas defense.
Crusher. McCarron hit as he throws. Incomplete. And a penalty flag. Andrew White was the intended receiver. Stephen Ford was the corner defending. And Kenny Williamson has center stage for the call.
Pass interference, defense, number 23. The penalty is 15 yards from the previous spot and includes an automatic first down.
Well, I think you see A.J. McCarron doing a nice job of stepping up in the pocket. You see they get pressure on him. He's able to step up and get enough on the throw. He got it down there, but Stephen Ford is actually in good position. He just doesn't get his head around his face guarding. You see him get there a little early. If he is able to locate that football, turn his head around, he may pick that thing off or at worst bat it down.
That gives Alabama the 1st and 10 at the North Texas 45. Again, pressured up front by North Texas. And McCarron has to swallow it at the 35. Excuse me, the 45-yard line. And another flag.
North Texas has got the football. They've called a fumble, and North Texas has it.
As they untangle the pile, the referees indicate mean green ball.
Holding, offense number 65. That penalty's declined. First down.
So McCarron loses the football. And let's take another look.
Now, this is not going to make Nick Saban any happier. You see, he just doesn't protect the football. He's kind of got it out away from his body. When you're expecting contact like this, you have to tuck the football in. See, as he's going down right there, get two hands on that football. There's guys coming in. They're trying to rip this football out. They're down 20-0. All they can do to get back in this football game is create some turnovers. So you have to know that as a quarterback, and you can't be careless with the football.
And that is the first turnover of this game. Kyle White credited with the fumble recovery. And North Texas has the football at their own 45-46 line, and
is under further review.
the last play is going to be reviewed. And the reason it looked like that play was down, you didn't get any reaction from McCarron when the ball came free.
No, I think AJ thought he was probably down, and it's going to be close. We're going to have to take a look at this thing and see what we can see as far as does his knee get down on the ground before that ball comes out. See him cut back right here. And to me, that it's close, but it looks like it's coming out to me. I think it's moving before he actually gets down to the ground.
Knee there, and the ball squirts out. That is a borderline, isn't it?
Yeah, it's tough to call. I think, you have to keep in mind that they called it a fumble on the field. So do you see anything that's absolutely certain saying his knee's down?
Well,
the ball's out.
How about the hand? Look at his
left hand.
Left hand.
Left forearm.
Right. One more frame, guys.
The ball's
there,
out.
Right there.
The ball is out
Yep.
before everything touches. That's going to hold up as a fumble, in my opinion. I think it's very close, but I think the ball is moving before he gets a forearm or a knee onto the ground.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. First down, North Texas.
So the Mean Green forced the turnover. And Dan McCartney's troops have it 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line.
I'll tell you, Dan McCartney has to be thrilled with the way his football team has came in here and played tonight. I know they're down 20-0, but this is a football team that's huge underdogs coming into this game, and you have to love the passion they're playing with. You can see their confidence growing. When they go back and play in the Sun Belt Conference, they're going to pull from this game and the success that they've been able to have against this Alabama Crimson Tide.
Chancellor. Wrapped up, incomplete pass. And another terrific hit. Menzie came in.
Yeah, we saw Darius Hanks get the block for his fellow wide receiver earlier in the game when they threw that little screen. That time North Texas wasn't able to get the block, and Daquan Menzie shows what happens when your wide receiver doesn't block for you.
Menzie 11 tackles coming into this game, one of the team leaders. 1.5 tackles for losses also in the top 2. Dunbar's the setback. They send him out. Pressure, throw, incomplete. It'll be 3rd and 10.
Alabama bringing pressure off the edge once again. They brought Daquan Menzie that time on a corner blitz. It was picked up initially by number 71, Antonio Johnson, but nothing happening down the field for Derek Thompson. Had to get rid of that football and just throw it away.
Third and 10. Chancellor could not get away from the tackle of Vinny Sunseri. And that will force the punt.
Well, what a great stop by Vinny Sunseri right there. That is Braylon Chancellor in open field, the most exciting player that they have on offense. It's full out pressure, and you see the shot that Derek Thompson takes, but good job of sitting in the pocket and throwing the football. If he breaks that tackle right there of Sunseri, he's got a chance to get up that sideline. Bob, it's man-to-man coverage. Everyone else has already run off with their guy, and he's going to be able to get down the sideline for a huge game for North Texas if he comes out of that tackle.
And Vinny is developing as a sensational special teams player. Atterbury with the punt, and this one is get the official mark on the sideline out around the 35-yard line. A break in the action. We'll be right back.
Andre Aldridge with your Coors Light game break. Navy down 3, 4th and 7 at South Carolina. They played a tough ball game, but that Chris Proctor's pass is intercepted by Antonio Allen. Gamecocks won it 24-21. Now back to Bob, Tim, and Christina in Tuscaloosa.
Thank you, Andre. 20-0 here. Will Atterbury has been sensational punting the ball tonight, but shanked that last one, just a 13-yard punt, and it was officially marked at the 42.
Yeah, very unlike Atterbury. He's been kicking the ball real well all night.
Richardson. To the house. Yards.
We talked about Trent Richardson having breakaway speed, also Eddie Lacy. We've seen Eddie Lacy already tonight show his breakaway ability on his touchdown run earlier in the football game. That time Trent Richardson finally found some daylight and was able to get up the sideline for the long touchdown run.
Jeremy Shelley's PAT is true. And Alabama now leads it 27-0 on Richardson's second touchdown of the night.
Take a look here. You see the great blocking by Chance Warmack. He's an outstanding run blocker. Just paves the way for Trent Richardson. Once he gets out there, it's clear as hell. And Richardson now 10 carries for 96 yards and 2 touchdowns. But that's all offensive line blocking. Excellent job by that whole offensive line. They open up huge holes for Trent Richardson and Eddie Lacy in this Alabama running game.
So North Texas comes out. They get the ball to start the third quarter, move the ball well, have a field goal blocked that would have given them their first points of the night. They come up with a turnover, give it right back on a bad punt. Next play, Richardson's gone, 27-0.
Yeah, and I think that's the importance of special teams. You know, I think when you have the opportunity, even though they didn't take advantage of their turnover, they had to punt. They got the bad punt. You know, if they could have pinned Alabama down deep right there, maybe a different situation. But they shanked the punt nonetheless. Trent Richardson takes it to the house to open this thing up, 27-0.
Cade Foster places the ball on the tee. Bama fans sporting the shades here tonight.
Yeah, you got to look the part, right?
Absolutely. Look cool. Brandon Bird is the deep man, along with 80, Freeland Chancellor. Will Chancellor be able to break one from his own 6? A penalty flag on the play. Clinton Dix getting downfield to make the hit. Kenny Williamson moves his flag to the 16.
During the return, block in the back, receiving team number 4. The penalty is half the distance to the goal. First down.
And time for the Nissan Heisman update.
Well, you first take a look at Marcus Lattimore. I mean, 249 yards and 3 touchdowns on 37 carries against Navy. Another huge game. See Michael Dyer carrying the load now for that Auburn offense. And Chris Rainey, explosive playmaker there at Florida, getting a huge win against Tennessee. And Tyler Bray still putting up big numbers in the loss. Trent Richardson tonight wants his name in that mentioned in those guys as well. Trent Richardson already almost up to 100 yards in the third quarter of this football game, and Trent Richardson certainly worthy of being on that list.
I think he's calling our graphics people.
He is. He's calling right now down to the truck asking, guys, seriously, I can't get on the list?
Nothing inside and nothing outside for Lance Dunbar. Quentin Dial, the junior, making the tackle. Last week when Alabama played at Penn State, for Quentin Dial, it was his first plane ride.
First plane
getting out
ride.
the charter.
Well, sure that was an adventure.
He said he was scared to death. 27-0 Alabama. And again, plugging every available hole inside.
Yeah, Alabama defense just expecting run right there on first down. Robert Lester, again, we've mentioned a couple times tonight, they're bringing him on that safety blitz quite a bit. The linebackers and defensive line for Alabama are just stuffing all these gaps, and Robert Lester is running free. There's no one left to block him, and he's just making play after play in the backfield.
North Texas is 1 of 8 on third down conversions. They are faced with a 3rd and 8 from their own 9-yard line. Nice move up the middle before Barron made the tackle, as Dunbar on the delay got that ball very close to a first down.
Right at the sticks. Looks like he got just enough, but you see the explosion from Lance Dunbar. Given an opportunity, given a hole, he can explode and get a first down, get first down yardage quickly.
And it is a first down. They move the chains. 3rd all-time leading rusher in North Texas history. Up Josh Chapman. Just fights off the block. Watch this.
Yeah, watch Josh Chapman right here. You want to see a man work inside. How about 310 pounds? Look at the mobility of him, able to move side to side, move his feet. That's a large man to be able to move that fast. And Alabama has a lot of those guys who are big and fast.
2nd and 11. Finds a motion. Caught out to the 23-yard line by Christopher Bynes. Let's go down for more on the Bama D with Christina.
This week we talked to Dante Hightower, and he said, you know, it kind of feels like this year myself, Mark Barron, and Josh Chapman have kind of just taken over the defense, and we will not have a problem of not having leaders out there. It was kind of an issue last year where guys wanted to step up and be a leader, but just didn't really know how, didn't feel comfortable doing it. But there's no doubt that there will be a problem with leaders on this defense this year.
Absolutely, Christina. And last year, Nick Saban talked to us about how in the Auburn game, in the South Carolina game, the LSU game, none of those leaders stepped up and said anything and rallied the troops, and that's what they were missing in those games. So this year, Dante and those guys are taking that responsibility and make sure that doesn't happen again.
Lance Dunbar with a first down catch to the 30-yard line. Dunbar gets a breather, as Dan McCarthy's club has looked a lot better offensively in the second half.
Yeah, they have. They've came out and they've been more aggressive with the football. They're going to have to continue to find on that opening drive how they got Lance Dunbar out in space. They got to find a way to get him opened up. He's just so bottled up with this Alabama defense right now.
James Hamilton to the outside, breaks a tackle and stumbles his way to the 45. A good run by the senior from Cedar Hill, Texas. Dre Kirkpatrick with the tackle.
Yeah, excellent job by the offensive line of North Texas. You see everyone getting a man on a man, 62. Cyril Lemon, the freshman, getting an excellent block, opening up that hole for James Hamilton.
A 14-yard pickup. Not so fortunate this time, as Mark Barron slams Hamilton down after a gain to the 47.
They're just repeating plays right there. They had some success, and they tried to come right back to it and see if Alabama was able to adjust. But Mark Barron came down in the box that time and said, not again.
He was the SEC's Defensive Player of the Week last week. Another pick at Penn State. Recovered a fumble. Second down. Thompson incomplete. Intended for Outlaw. and Dre Kirkpatrick broke it up.
Excellent play by Dre Kirkpatrick. That's just great hands. A lot of times you see defensive backs in that situation get a hand on the back shoulder of the wide receiver and get called for the pass interference. He did a good job of reaching around with the left hand, not grabbing the back shoulder, and just getting all ball and no man right there. Excellent play by Dre Kirkpatrick.
3rd down and 7. North Texas has 118 yards in total offense tonight. 93 this half. 10th play of the drive.
Here comes the blitz from Alabama, 3rd and long. This is where they like to get creative.
And a whistle.
Delay of game. Offense, number 7. 5-yard penalty. It remains 3rd down.
Well, you see the confusion that it causes. The Alabama defense had a blitz coming to Derek Thompson's left side right there. He's trying to readjust and slide his offensive line and get himself protected, but he just wasn't able to do it in time. Has to get a little bit more sense of urgency about him when making these audibles and checks at the line of scrimmage.
3rd down, and now 12 yards to go. Thompson still looking to throw, now has to run. Out of bounds he goes. Boy, if it doesn't happen quickly against Alabama down the field, it's not going to happen.
No, it's not, and that was actually really good protection for that North Texas offensive line. He had all day to throw the football, but just no one open downfield. Great job by Dre Kirkpatrick, DeQuan Menzie, Mark Barron, Robert Lester. That whole secondary, veteran secondary, doing a great job tonight, bottling up these North Texas wideouts.
Will Atterbury, despite that shank, still with a great average. This one will bounce out of bounds. And they'll mark it at the 7. So Atterbury redeems himself. And a timeout at Bryant Denny. SEC College Football Saturday is brought to you by Nissan, by Z-Max, by Academy Sports and Outdoors, and by Honda Generators. Back in Tuscaloosa, a 27-0 Alabama lead. And time for tonight's Academy Sports and Outdoors Right Stump leaders. McCarron, 13 of 16.
Yeah, very efficient, 166 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. He did have the fumble, but you see Trent Richardson with the long run, 96 yards and a couple touches already in this football game.
And Upshaw terrific defensively. Lacey's back in as the running back. And he steps through the hole and takes it out to the 14-yard line. Quite a 1-2 punch behind A.J. McCarron. Richardson, as you mentioned, Tim had that long TD run a moment ago for the touchdown of 58 yards. Now here comes Lacey, fresh, rested, ready to go.
What a luxury for a young quarterback. You know, what you have to have when you're a young quarterback is playmakers on the outside and a running game to take the pressure off of you. And A.J. McCarron has both of those here at Alabama with guys like Marquise Mays and Darius Hanks, Christian Jones, a lot of playmakers on the outside, and everyone knows about the 2 running backs.
Play action this time. And off the hand of Darius Hanks.
They missed a big one there. A.J. is going to be regretting that one in the film room. That's a couple throws now where he's missed a little bit high. You know, he missed a touchdown in the first quarter. That time, Darius Hanks, if he hits him in stride, Hanks is up the sideline. See here, he's got all day to throw the football. Just overshoots him a little bit. You know, it's not that bad off. It's just a little high, a little on the outstretch. You got to give the receiver a catchable football that he's able to get hauled in easily and up the field.
They'll mark his progress at the 22, a 9-yard pickup. First down, Alabama. This is college football's version of planking, I believe.
Well, he certainly wrapped him up, that's for sure. That'll be on the teaching tape of how to wrap a guy up.
From the 22. Quickly to Bell. Couple of nice cuts over the 35 to the 38. Kenny Bell brought down by Graham and McCord. Gain of 15.
Well, once again, we've seen this play several times tonight. Kenny Bell getting a great block again from Darius Hanks, his buddy out on the outside. You see, he almost breaks this thing for a big one, but Hanks allows him to get a nice gain up the sideline.
Fourth catch of the night for 55 yards.
Let's go, game!
Nicely done. Eddie Lacy. Coming out of that two tight end set, Tim, the blocking up front was magnificent, and Lacy just had a gaping hole to run through.
Well, these tight ends are great blockers on the edge. Michael Williams, outstanding edge blocker in this run game, opening up the hole for Eddie Lacy. And, you know, it's easy running for Eddie Lacy. If you don't touch him until 20 yards down the field, I mean, he's just going to gash you. Luckily, they got him bumped out of bounds right there, but Eddie Lacy really hard to get on the ground in the open field.
35-yard pickup. First and 10 at the North Texas 27. Karen delivers. Incomplete at the goal line. Intended for Darius Hanks.
Ball just a little out of reach again for Darius Hanks. They had the double post on. You see right here, it's all just man-to-man coverage. Just an easy read. Almost stuck it in there. It's a tough throw. You know, he didn't have him by that much, but it would have been a great throw. But Darius Hanks, once again, the ball just a little bit out of his reach.
You mentioned Hanks' first game back after a two-game suspension. Give. Eddie Lacy wrapped up when he got the handoff. Punku, the defensive end, Boutwell, the defensive tackle, there to stop the redshirt sophomore. Loss of one.
That's a situation as A.J. McCarron gets more comfortable in this offense and they give him more freedom. He ran the running play right into the blitz. North Texas had the blitz, the double linebacker blitz right there, right into where Eddie Lacy was trying to run that football. As he gets more experience, he can check out that thing into a quick pass and hurt the defense where they're weak.
This one incomplete and a penalty flag. Pass interference coming. Marquise Mays was the intended receiver. Stephen Ford may be guilty of his second foul of the game.
Yeah, I think so. Just an all-out blitz right there by North Texas. One-on-one coverage all over the field. He chose his go-to guy, Marquise Mays. Looks like they're going to get Stephen Ford again.
23. The penalty is 15 yards from the previous spot and includes an automatic first down.
Hey, take a look. It's pretty similar to the play before. That time he tried to get his head around, but he made contact with Marquise Mays before he was able to get his head around. When you see the wide receiver's eyes, that's what you look at as a defensive back when you're trailing like that. You see the wide receiver's eyes get big. You know that football's coming. Just turn your head and make a play on the football. You don't need to contact the wide receiver. You got to have better ball skills than that as a defensive back.
Stephen Ford, a senior, back from missing last year with a broken leg. First and 10, Alabama at the Mean Green 12. AJ is chased out of bounds at the 19. Brandon McCoy was the defensive end doing the chasing. And a loss of 7.
You see Nick Saban on the sideline talking to his young quarterback, A.J. McCarron, and that's a situation where you just want to throw the football away. It's first down. You've gotten outside of the tackle box. Don't take a loss. Throw the football away where you get back to 1st and 10. You take that ball out of bounds and you lose 7 yards. Now you're back to 2nd and 17, and this is where they've been hurting themselves making plays like this, self-inflicted wounds in the red zone.
That time, Ford knocks it away.
It's a Great play by Stephen Ford right there. Way to bounce back. You know, when you're on that island out there as a defensive back, you got to forget about it. He's had 2 penalties. He's had 2 tough calls, but that time, you see how he found the ball? He saw the wide receiver that time. He got his head around. He didn't contact the wide receiver. He tried to go for the football and made an outstanding play. So that's what you want to see as a defensive coach. Dan McCartney and these guys, they can say, you know, he learned from those 2 plays. That time he was able to locate the football, made an excellent play. Nice job right there by Stephen Ford.
10th play of the drive for A.J. McCarron at the tie. There are 6 of 10 on 3rd downs tonight. And this time A.J. is going to be sacked. Back at the 25-yard line, Julian Herron, senior from Arlington.
Well, it's not hard when they don't block you.
Yeah.
Julian Herron just comes right off the edge right here. A.J. McCarron has no chance. I'm not sure if the tackle was supposed to fan out right there or if that was Eddie Lacy's man in responsibility in pass protection. But regardless, someone has to pick him up. You can't let him just come scot-free.
Jeremy Shelley will attempt the field goal as we come to the end of the quarter. Sprint Unlimited updates from Bryant-Denny Stadium, Tuscaloosa, Alabama. SEC College Football Saturday with the 2nd-ranked team in the country leading 27-0. And a field goal attempt coming by Jeremy Shelley, a 42-yarder, which would match, if successful, the longest field goal of his career, bidding for his 3rd of the night. This is going to be no good. So Dan McCartney's Mean Green do not yield the 3. It remains a 27-0 game.
More struggles in the red zone for this Alabama offense. A lot to work on for Nick Saban's football team down there in that area of the field as they're going forward into their schedule into the SEC. Those are the type of things that'll make you get beat. You know, settling for field goals, missing a couple field goals like they have in this game. Going to have to get that cleaned up next week before Arkansas comes to town.
North Texas 1st and 10. Ball just over the 25-yard line. 4th quarter action. Thompson plants, throws, and incomplete for Dunbar. Terrell Harris was defending on the play.
He's trying to get Dunbar isolated one-on-one on a wheel route with a linebacker, and probably had a step right there, just a little bit overthrown, but good play call, trying to get a chunk, trying to get some yardage, trying to get down the field, trying to get back in this football game.
Derek Thompson, the redshirt sophomore, trying to get the Mean Green on the board here tonight. Complete out to the 32-yard line. As making the grab was Michael Outlaw. Many first-team defenders still out there for the tie.
Oh, yeah, and I think Derek Thompson's doing an outstanding job. Alabama has shown some very tough looks, especially for a young quarterback. They're tough on veteran quarterbacks, and Derek Thompson, for the most part, has recognized what Alabama has tried to do. He's went to the right spot with the football majority of the time, so very impressed with that young man early in his career.
Breaks a tackle and got a couple of extra yards. A gain of 8. And take another look.
Well, once again, Alabama comes with a little pressure. Derek Thompson finds one-on-one. He's got his best playmaker, Lance Dunbar, on a safety.
Spot, repeat, 3rd down.
But it's wiped out on the penalty. So they'll mark this ball back inside the 30, and looks like they're going to drop it down about the 27-yard line. 3rd and 8. Well, North Texas, though, has made a quantum leap from where they were in the first half.
Oh, no question. And I like, they've just been more aggressive this half, and they've tried to get to playmakers of football, and that's what you have to do. First half, thought they were a little timid trying to get the football down the field. They were trying to just not turn it over and not get themselves in trouble.
Under pressure, incomplete. Intended for Willie Taylor, and he was complaining that he was interfered with.
Yeah, I think he was right. I think Daquan Minzy got there a little bit early, and I think Minzy probably got up looking for a flag right there. I think he knew that he got there a little bit early on Taylor. See 24, you see him grab him right there by the shoulder. That's what I was talking about earlier when Dre Kirkpatrick made the play where he didn't do that. He just went over with the left hand. That time you saw Daquan Minzy grab that back shoulder, which is certainly a pass interference.
Marquise Mays looking to return his 6th punt of the game. His longest return has been for 28 yards. Mays is going to let this one hit. North Texas bounce inside the 20 and down to at the 17. Here is a penalty flag on the play.
Illegal formation, kicking team, more than 4 players lined up in the backfield. The penalty is 5 yards. Repeat, 4th down.
This is what Dan McCarney doesn't want. Just 2 penalties on that drive. One of them killed a first down. That one going to have to re-kick it and give Marquise Mays, a dangerous punt returner, another opportunity to get his hands on the football.
Atterbury in 7 punts has averaged about 40, almost 43 yards. His longest has been 54. So a 56-yard punt gets taken off the board. And brought some heat. Mays will make the fair catch at the 29. Now it's time for the Coors Light Freeze Cam. And we're going to focus on special teams right here, and keep your eye on number 3, Vinny Sunseri.
Yeah, you see Vinny Sunseri telling Marquise Mays, he's got the hand up, telling him, come around the corner, I got the block right here. And that's a dream hit for a special teams player like Vinny Sunseri. Did an excellent job getting his head across, not making sure it's not a clip. Excellent job by Vinny Sunseri of swinging Marquise Mays down the sideline.
That has to bring a smile to Dad's face.
Oh, no question. Daddy's proud of that one.
Richardson, the other number 3, off to the races and gone. My goodness, what a run. Touchdown, Alabama. "71 yards to pay dirt."
Trent Richardson came into this football game only averaging 3.7 yards a carry on the ground, but tonight 2 huge runs. That'll up the yards per carry average right there. That one a 71-yarder as he goes untouched into the end zone.
Shelley drills the extra point, and it's 34-0. 167 yards and 11 carries for Mr. Richardson. SEC College Football Saturday is brought to you by Wendy's, by Coors Light, by Academy Sports and Outdoors, and by Hyundai. Back in Tuscaloosa, 34-0 now. Bama, 13:01 to go in our game. 3rd touchdown tonight for Trent Richardson, and a career best 167 yards. That 71-yard run a moment ago, the longest run of his career. Chancellor on the return. And what a stick on special teams. Let's take a look at our Buick video vault tonight. This is the last time that these two clubs met 2 years ago. And you see Greg McElroy, quarterback, and the Heisman Trophy winner Mark Ingram going in. And almost 2 years ago to the day, September 19th, Alabama with a big win, and they lead it 34-0 here this evening. Brett Osborne is in now at quarterback for North Texas. And the give is to Lance Dunbar. Brett Osborne is an Alabama native from Valley, Alabama. And the coaches were telling us during the week that Osborne's ticket requests were many.
I'm sure he's got a lot of familiar faces in the crowd tonight, and I'm sure they're really excited to see him get an opportunity to come out here at Bryant-Denny and get a little action.
A few Mean Green fans amongst the 101,000 plus incomplete. Chancellor, the intended receiver. Osborne played, and we have an Alabama player down, and that is Robert Lester, the strong safety.
Well, the last thing you want, your Alabama, is to see one of your stars go down like that late in a football game, up 34-0. Robert Lester is a guy who's been really active tonight on a lot of blitzes, made a lot of plays, but let's try to take a look and see what happens to Lester.
Oh, man.
Pretty tough collision right there. Hard to tell what he injured right there, but certainly a tough hit.
He is having to be helped off the field. You're talking about one of the best safeties in the country here, and the eve of the conference season.
Yeah, tough break right there for Alabama, as you see Robert Lester not able to put any pressure on that right leg, so hopefully he's okay. Nick Saban out to check on him.
From the 21-yard line, 3rd and 9. In the dirt. Intended for Christopher Bynes. That name may sound familiar. Of course, he is the brother of Josh Bynes of Auburn fame, now with the Baltimore Ravens. Christopher coming back. He tore his Achilles tendon. That is some kind of painful injury.
Yeah, that's a tough injury, especially for a wide receiver.
Yes.
You know, a guy who cuts and runs and comes out of those breaks so tough, so hard is very very difficult for a wide receiver to regain 100% form after suffering such a tough injury.
Bama's D forcing a 7 3-and-out. Christian Jones taken down upon receipt and a timeout. 12:04 to go in our ball game. Fourth quarter from Bryant-Denny, 34-0 tie.
Andre Aldridge with this game break. Arkansas hosting Troy. Tyler Wilson hits Ronnie Wingo for his 3rd touchdown of the night. Razorbacks up 31-21, tuning up for their trip to Alabama next Saturday afternoon. Now they're up 37-21. Hey, our Wendy's texted in question, who is the best running back in Crimson Tide history? And you believe that is none other than Mark Ingram. Now let's get back to Bryant-Denny Stadium and Bob Rathman.
Okay, Andre, thank you. And it's certainly with intrigue that Arkansas will come into this stadium next weekend. I think Arkansas, a lot of people feel, Tim, a dark horse in this SEC West.
Yeah, no question. I'm one of those people. I've liked Arkansas from the get-go of this season. I think they have outstanding talent at the wide receiver position, and Tyler Wilson is great.
And so is Eddie Lacy. How about that run?
I mean, they're just getting chunks in the run game now. Offensive line starting to wear down that undersized North Texas defensive line, and you can see it's taking a toll on them here late in the fourth quarter.
Lacy's 2nd touchdown of the night, 67 yards.
It's like Lacy and Richardson trying to take turns to see who can outdo each other. You see Lacy just finding his way. Good job of getting vision of getting out to the sideline where he has his blockers, and it's just a foot race from right there. And once again, not catching Eddie Lacy. At 220 pounds, he's still able to outrun everyone in the secondary.
Extra point is good, and it is now 41-0 Alabama. Second touchdown for Lacy. Richardson has 3 scores. As we check out tonight's Fans of the Game, presented by O'Charley's. Lacy now 161 yards. We mentioned Richardson 167, a career best in 3 TDs. A great night for the Alabama running backs. Lester now at least under his own power, but leaving the field and headed to the Alabama locker room. During that Lacy touchdown run, they were working on Lester's back, and after that fall he took in a collision with Chancellor, you certainly understand why.
Yeah, it was an awkward collision. Lester kind of got bent up, and you couldn't tell whether his leg got trapped underneath him, if it was an ankle situation or a knee or a back, but not sure what's going on, but he's certainly in a little bit of pain. Take another look at it. You see Lester come to make the big hit right here, and the wide receiver gets all the way up on his shoulder and kind of lands him awkward, and his back kind of bends back a little bit, so it's just tough to tell what happened to him, but hopefully he's going to be okay.
Chancellor, probably 2. And knocked down at the 18.
You got to be impressed with the Alabama kick coverage tonight. They've kicked the football to Chancellor several times now. They were avoiding him in the first quarter, but they've been covering it so well. They just continue to kick it to him, and they're doing a great job on special teams of getting down there and stopping him for hardly anything.
Statistical domination by the Tide, as you would expect in this 41-0 score. Brent Osborne will stay in at quarterback for North Texas. Dunbar to the 21.
North Texas offense in a similar situation at the quarterback position. 2 young guys trying to gain experience, and good opportunity here for Brent Osborne to get in this football game against a team like Alabama and get some good game experience. Get him in there, let him see some of these blitzes and some of these looks that Alabama will give you, and let him see if he can figure it out and find the right spot to go with the football.
Dunbar, penalty flag. Xavier Dixon coming up to push him out of bounds. Ken Williamson, our referee this evening. There's a flag on the field.
Holding, offense number 57. The penalty is 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Repeat, second down.
Freshman Mason Y. Barbeau caught holding. 6'2", 312-pound first-year player. .11 minutes remaining. The 8th North Texas penalty. Hamilton, the running back, next to Osborne. Brent to the 15, a gain of 3. Nick Gentry made the tackle. The senior from Prattville, Alabama.
Been a tough day statistically for this North Texas offense. Only 134 total yards against this Alabama defense, and Alabama has put up 545 yards of total offense. Most of that coming on the ground with Richardson and Lacy.
Incomplete. And a punt. Clint Dix defending. Dan McCarney was kidding with us during the week. He says, yes, we have Alabama this week and Green Bay next week.
Well, I'll tell you, he's not far off. I mean, you take a look at that Alabama defense, and there's at least 7, 8 guys on that starting unit for Alabama's defense that's going to get an opportunity to play at the next level. So he's not very far off with that comment.
Christian Jones ready to return it. And Will Atterbury with the punt.
Atterbury's done a nice job tonight.
Timeout with 10:08 to play. 41-0 tie. A 41-0 lead for Alabama and 10:08 to play. Let's go down to the field in Christina.
Dante Hightower told me it was one of the hardest he's ever seen. The idea of finishing this season has been on the forefront of everybody's minds. The man behind it, strength and conditioning coach Scott Cochran, he is unbelievable on the sidelines. Despite the 41-0 score, Cochran has not stopped. He's had his fourth quarter hands up, had every player on this sideline put their hands up in the air and get hyped for this fourth quarter. The energy is unbelievable over here.
Christina, it's never hard to spot a strength and conditioning coach on any team. He's always the loudest guy on the sideline. He's always got that raspy, hoarse voice. He's been yelling so much. You can always spot the strength and conditioning coach.
Well, Tim, he came into our meeting yesterday and he made me do 10 push-ups. I thought that was a little over the top.
He put you right to work, huh?
It's amazing. Just a bundle of energy. But you know, it is interesting how the strength and conditioning coach is the guy who can be with these players almost on a year-round basis, where the coaches cannot.
Yeah, he spends a lot more time with them during the summer months than the coaches are able to. So certainly he plays a huge role in affecting how these kids work and prepare to get ready for the season.
Phillip Sims at quarterback, loose ball on the carpet, and let's see. North Texas is pointing they have it. Do the officials agree? Yes, they do. Bad exchange. Center to quarterback. And North Texas comes up with the football. 94, Kyle White, the recovery.
A good heads up right there by Kyle White of finding the football, recognizing that Sims had dropped it, but you just don't want to get sloppy in these games. Even though you're up 41-0 late here in the fourth quarter, you want to finish these games out the right way. You don't want to go out with a bad taste in your mouth offensively. You want to come out and execute and continue to run your offense at a high level.
Brent Osborne is at quarterback for the Mean Green. Hamilton trying to get to the outside and does. Looking to cut that corner and knocked out of bounds, and a big hit at the North Texas bench by Williams. You know, you talk about games that are out of hand like this is, 41-0 and 9 minutes to go, and coaches are still stressing execution. But it certainly, Tim, begs the question, why does that happen? Why is it just human nature kicking in?
It's just
you lose your competitive edge.
You just lose the mental focus that you would have if it was a tight football game. You're not as honed in to what your assignments are, and that's the last thing you want to see as coaches, because there's going to be games where you're going to have to focus for 60 minutes. You can't have a let up, and you want to ingrain that into your kids, because if you'll let up when you have a big lead like this, then maybe you'll lose your focus in a tight game. So never want to see that when you're Nick Saban.
Solid run by James Hamilton. That moves the chains down to the Alabama 30-yard line.
You see Nick still down there coaching. It's 41-0. He's still on these guys. He wants them to finish this football game the right way.
Hamilton cuts it back, jumps it down to the 26-yard line. We talked about the SEC opener for Alabama next week with Arkansas here. Then it's down to Gainesville. Florida winning over Tennessee today. Vanderbilt a surprising 3-0.
Sure, that's a tough schedule. You know, Arkansas is a team that can score a lot of points, and we've talked about the red zone issues that Alabama has had here today. If you don't punch those touchdowns in when you get down in the red zone, a team like Arkansas can beat you. Florida with the playmakers, Rainey and Demps. John Brantley is playing much better in Charlie Weiss's system. And as you mentioned, Bob, Vanderbilt 3-0. Larry Smith, the quarterback down there, doing a nice job. James Franklin, the head coach, has energized that program. So this is the SEC. Any team can beat you at any time. So Alabama's got some things to clean up. They've looked good here tonight, but certainly there's areas that Nick Saban has concern.
Third down and a long 4. See Kirby Smart there, the defensive coordinator, the former Georgia Bulldog. Good buddy of yours.
Yeah, Kirby's a good friend of mine. I had an opportunity to play against him several times when he was at Georgia, and actually threw him a couple interceptions, which he reminded me of tonight. And Kirby's one of the best defensive coordinators in all of college football, and just a really bright future ahead for Kirby.
That will be a first down for North Texas at the 18. As Breland Chancellor with the grab. And another guy who really is out there on all special teams, on his kick returns, just a terrific all-around football player. He is a sophomore. The coaches called him crazy legs.
I was kind of disappointed we didn't get to see any of the crazy legs. You know, they say he gets going on these kick returns and the legs start going all over the place. We didn't get to see any crazy legs tonight because Alabama bottled him up before he was able to get going.
Of course, when you hear that nickname in college football, historians of the game will remember none other than the great Hall of Famer Elroy Hirsch, who was the original Crazy Legs. Played at Wisconsin and Michigan during the war years, and long tenure as the athletic director at Wisconsin in the College Football Hall of Fame.
I think Breland knows. Sorry, you think Breland knows who Chancellor knows who Crazy Legs Hirsch is?
He will after watching.
He will. Yeah, he's going to have to study up on that. That's a little before his time.
North Texas in the red zone for the first time this evening. Batted down and nearly intercepted. That was rolling on the back of a North Texas player, and Gentry nearly came up with it. It was batted down by Stinson.
Yeah, good job by Stinson right here. You know, if you're not going to get to the quarterback, go ahead and get your hands up. Good job of reading the quarterback's eyes and making a play.
3rd and 10.
North Texas in a 5-wide receiver formation. Here comes the blitz. You got man-to-man coverage all over the field. Let's just find your best matchup.
And over the middle it is! And tripped up at the last second, preserving the touchdown. Sunseri made the tackle. It's 1st and goal to 2.
Well, good job, Brent Osborne right there. He recognized Alabama's bringing the blitz. He found his best matchup. It was his tailback, Lance Dunbar, matched up on a safety right there. And you gotta think your elusive running back can make a guy miss and slip underneath on the slant pattern. So good recognition by the young quarterback, Brent Osborne.
And a timeout.
First timeout this half
has been taken by Alabama.
32nd timeout.
Their shutout hanging in the balance here.
Yeah, North Texas moving the football well here, making some plays, converting some big 3rd downs.
Down to the 2-yard line. As we come out of this timeout, we remind you of tonight's ZMAX performance recap, and the running game for Alabama just sensational, and big plays in the second half for Richardson and Lacey.
Yeah, you know, I said earlier in the show, I think Richardson and Lacey are the best 1-2 punch, the best combo of running backs that we have in all of college football. Like, there's no letdown. You know, when Richardson comes out, we've seen Lacey make just the same type of plays that Richardson's capable of, and Richardson is a Heisman Trophy candidate. So these guys have an absolutely dominant running game to go along with a powerful offensive line.
Fumble, kicked. North Texas recovers. Back to the 12-yard line.
They brought the young quarterback in that time, Andrew McNulty. He's more of a mobile guy. They brought him in to try to run some type of option or something right there, and he's been on the sideline for the whole game, so he comes in cold. Got to secure that football down here in the red zone. A lot of moving parts down here. Got to make sure you have the football before you get going.
McNulty came in, and on his first college carry had a touchdown against Houston. The first touchdown at their new Apogee Stadium. Now Osborne comes back in, and it's 2nd and goal from the 11. Incomplete and nearly picked off by Clinton Dix.
Well, North Texas had the same situation they had earlier when they found Lance Dunbar on the slant. That time they tried to find James Hamilton on the same play. They spread out that Alabama defense, made them go man-to-man coverage, and the football is just a little bit behind Hamilton. If it's out in front of him, he's got an opportunity to catch and score.
The freshman from Orlando breaks up the play. Now Osborne on 3rd and goal. To the end zone. Incomplete and a penalty flag. And this one looks to go against the Crimson Tide. Chancellor, the intended receiver. Perry on the coverage.
Pass interference, defense, number 27. A foul occurred in the end zone. Therefore, by rule, the ball will be placed at the 2-yard line. Automatic first down.
Let's take a look and see if Nick Perry got there early. Good read and throw by Osborne. Tough to tell if he had that. Yeah, he looks like he had him around the shoulder. You see that back shoulder of Chancellor being pulled back. Same situation. You got to remove that right hand off the back shoulder and just try to come over the top and swipe that football down.
Just the second penalty against Alabama tonight. 1st and goal from the 2.
Timeout. North Texas. 3rd and final timeout of the half.
And we'll step aside with 4:50 remaining. We are back in Tuscaloosa. 41-0 Alabama leads with 4:50 to play. And Nick Saban still talking things over with the linesman.
He's working those referees. He didn't feel that his defensive back got the hand on the back shoulder of the wide receiver. He thought he came across clean and knocked that football down, and he's been letting him have it that whole time out.
Andrew McNulty will come back in at quarterback. Again, it's 1st and goal after the pass interference at the 2. Alabama trying to preserve the shutout. And they stack up Hamilton, and a penalty flag to boot. There's a flag.
Illegal formation on the offense. The 4 players line up in the backfield. Penalties decline. 2nd down.
2nd and goal with the ball just inside the 5.
It'll be tough to run the football up the middle against this Alabama defense, even though they have second-team guys in. They're still pretty stout through the middle of that defense. Going to have to try to get out on the edge, maybe a toss sweep or maybe a sprint out pass here if you want to try to get this thing in the end zone.
Gibbs and Hamilton to the 3. 3rd down. Clock continues to roll. 4:07. As we mentioned, you can see there on the screen, no timeouts remaining for Coach McCarney.
Alabama's got to be alert for the quarterback draw right here. Andrew McNulty, pretty mobile guy, so watch the motion, try to loosen this defense up and run the quarterback draw.
Throwing, incomplete for Chancellor. And that sets up 4th and goal.
Well, McNulty a little upset with himself right there. He knows he had Breland Chancellor out there in the flat. He had a couple steps, had the defense outflanked. All he had to do was put the football on him. Just the football just sailed out of McNulty's hand just a little high.
If Alabama is to get a shutout tonight, this is it. pressure. Firing. Incomplete. Intended for Andre Power. And Alabama holds.
Well, North Texas came back with the exact same play. They tried to sneak Breland Chancellor across the field in motion, get him on the flat route, but D. Milner out there playing that defensive back position, took away the flat and made McNulty come to his second option, and it just wasn't there. He was double teamed and had to throw that football in there high. Good job by Alabama's defensive adjusting and taking away his first option in Chancellor.
So Phillip Sims comes back out here with just 3:28 remaining. And even though Alabama has done it tonight against an outmanned opponent, as we saw last week with the Florida Gators, it really doesn't matter who you're playing these days in college football. When your defense can register a shutout, you have done something special.
Oh, there's no question. Shutouts are pretty rare. You know, these defenses take a lot of pride, especially defenses like they have here at Alabama, and a defensive-minded coach like Nick Saban. He demands excellence from these guys. He didn't want them to get in the end zone. You saw how fiery he was down there when they were driving. He wanted to keep them out of the end zone and preserve this shutout.
Second and 5. Runs the play clock down to 2. Eddie Lacy, or check it, Fowler, I should say, making the carry. Limited to mop-up duty tonight, but Jalston Fowler is a young man, a sophomore out of Mobile. And he'll be the next one coming along in this great tradition of running backs.
No question, Fowler, a talented guy in his own right, even though he's the third string, like you said, Bob. He's playing in front of two really good guys in Richardson and Lacy, but he's going to have a bright future here at Alabama as well.
Inside running to the 29-yard line. The national championship 2 years ago, Alabama's 13th. Look at that, 98. First team All-Americas, 22 SEC titles, 13 national championships. And Nick Saban winning national championships at 2 different schools.
The only guy to do that, right?
Yes, sir. LSU, of course. 41-0. Tied with just 90 seconds to play, and Alabama content to run a couple of plays here. Call it a night. This time the ball carrier is Blake Sims, redshirt freshman. And takes it out to the 38-yard line for first down, a gain of 14. Sims had a grand total of 16 yards coming in on the season out of Gainesville, Georgia. Sims to Sims. This time to the 36-yard line. Alabama will go to 3-0 with Arkansas coming in next week. And Dan McCarthy's troops will take on Indiana next week in Denton. Sims to the 36-yard line, and that will do it. Nick Saban. Ball club continues its September domination. 18-2 in the month of September under Coach Saban. He shakes the hand of Dan McCarney. And when Alabama has a player rush for 100+ under Coach Saban, Alabama is 26-1. Our final score tonight from Tuscaloosa, Alabama 41, North Texas 0. Back after this. The number 2 team in the country, Alabama, improves to 3-0 as they knock off North Texas tonight, 41-0 here in Tuscaloosa. Bob Rathman and Tim Couch back with you upstairs. We'll be going down to the field in Christina in just a moment. A night where the ground game for Alabama was tremendous. McCarron at quarterback, efficient in his passing game, and the defense, what can you say?
Yeah, the defense was outstanding, preserving the shutout and just really limited North Texas and what they were able to do offensively, especially in the first half. North Texas got a little bit going, a little momentum going in the second half, but really hurt themselves with penalties and turnovers. So this Alabama defense as advertised.
Let's take a look at the stat leaders tonight for the Crimson Tide. A.J. finished 15 of 21 for 190 yards, but the guys who did most of the damage, Richardson and Lacey.
Yeah, it was all about Richardson and Lacey, and this Alabama football team is going to win by running these two guys and playing great defense. And if this is any indication of how these guys are going to be the rest of this football season, then Alabama's got a bright future ahead of them.
And just a moment ago, Christina caught up with Trent Richardson.
Trent, a career high night for you tonight. What opened up for you in the second half?
Offensive line just got to, they just got to moving, and everybody was pumped up, and everybody was ready to go, and just show the team that we establish ourselves, man. We got to, make a name for ourselves, and the offensive line made a name for themselves tonight.
Another one in the books. It's on to the next one. Arkansas SEC play. What are you looking to adjust going into SEC play?
We just got to go harder. Adjusting-wise, you just got to get it mental-wise stronger. You got to make sure we play like it's our last.
Thank you very much, Trent.
The running game accumulated 347 yards tonight for Alabama. All told, Tim, 586 yards of offense.
Well, it was an impressive performance offensively. I thought A.J. McCarron was very poised. He threw the football accurately, and he made good decisions. He didn't turn the football over, and that's all they're going to ask him to do is manage this football team and rely on that run game. I thought he did a nice job of that tonight.
So the stage is set for the Crimson Tide as they await the arrival of the Arkansas Razorbacks and kick off SEC play next weekend. Once again, our final score tonight, Alabama 41 and North Texas 0. Join us next week for more SEC football. Auburn against Florida Atlantic. Our coverage begins at 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central on Fox Sports South. For Christina Acra and Tim Couch and all the great men and women of our crew, this is Bob Rathman saying good night from Tuscaloosa.